Hey everyone, today on the table we have the E-flite 1.2 m T-28 Trojan. If you remember, I just did the unboxing video on this not that long ago and I got the aircraft assembled. No sense in doing an assembly video, it literally is only a few parts. The aircraft goes together so easily. The wing is one piece, pre-wired, all servos, retracts, everything installed. It is 4 screws to attach that. It is 2 screws and a spar for the horizontal stabulator. You hook up some wires, you screw on the prop, you pop on the canopy, and you are done. It's literally that easy to assemble it. It would have taken me longer to make a video on it than actually to put the aircraft together. But now that I have it together, I thought I would just cover a few of the things I did to kind of, I guess, up the visual quality of the aircraft just a little bit more than it did when it came out of the box. I had thought about repainting the aircraft into a custom scheme, but after really looking at the new E-flite T-28, I decided I really like this scheme a lot. It's unique enough that it's different from the previous ones. It's still very high visibility. It's easy to see, easy to work around. You know, it's not like it's got a lot of things going on with it. So I decided just to kind of keep the factory scheme and just amp it up a little bit. And to do that, I reached out to Cali Graphics and I ordered 2 sets of graphics from her. One, the nomenclature kit, which includes all these little stencils and extra stickers that go around the aircraft. If you've ever been around aircraft, full-scale ones, you know that they are littered with little teeny tiny decals over what access panel to open, what type of fuel to use, where the where the oil fill is, all those little things. So I picked up a decal kit from her just to kind of spruce it up just a little bit more. And then I also picked up her USS Lexington VT5 Training Squadron decals, which is really just duplicating the factory scheme, but adds just a few more decals to it. So I added the S2 on the back, the USS Lexington, and VT5 over here by the Navy. And I think that is all the decals I added to it. Like I said, it didn't really need much, but I just wanted to kind of amp it up just a little bit more from what the factory offered. And when I got done with the entire aircraft, I did a little weathering on the exhaust panel here, this black painted area. But once I got done with it, most of that kind of wore itself off and you can't even see it anymore, unfortunately, but it was there for a little while. But when I got done with all the decals and everything, I decided that the aircraft, to make it really pop, it needed a gloss coat. So I did 3 coats of high gloss clear. Used Rust-Oleum 2X spray rather than polyacrylic on it. I washed everything down really well with a mix of rubbing alcohol and Dawn dish soap, just to make sure I got any type of mold release or oils off of it. I shot the entire thing and it really, really makes the aircraft pop. It makes the bare white foam look much more like it's white paint. It also takes the red paint on the aircraft and just really brings it to life. So very happy how it turned out, even though that in reality they were probably never this clean when they were in active duty in a training squadron, but a lot of restored ones that you see at an air show are really high gloss and really beautiful, and I wanted to try to kind of match that a little bit. So I do love how it looks in sunlight. I've had it out at a couple events now. I had it out at an open house at the air show, at the local airport. I've also had it out at the flying field. I've taken some pictures of it, and it really, really pops in the daylight. Something else I did is I did just a little minor paint work around the aircraft. I also painted the dummy radial up front, just did a real quick paint job on that. And then I also painted the back side of the prop. Normally the prop is painted from the factory with the kind of like either the yellow tips or the white and red tips like on the T-28 on the front side of the prop, and then they're black on the back side, just left unpainted. So I wanted to finish that up a little bit better. I painted both sides of the prop. Now it looks the same both ways, but make sure you don't put the prop on backwards if you do that. That's a nice thing about what the factory does, is they paint the tips on the front side, not the back side, so you always know you got it on the right side. Now when you paint both of them, you want to make sure you don't accidentally flip those around. So just a little word of caution there. I also painted the rotating beacon on the top and the bottom, painted those bright red, and I painted pretend wingtip lights on the wingtips and navigation lights. So if you're looking for a tip on how do you paint lights on aircraft, even though they're non-functional, how do you make them look real? I take silver, high gloss silver chrome paint, and I paint where the lights go, and then I use a transparent red for red navigation lights and beacons, and then I use a mix of blue and green for a green navigation light. So I'll lay down a layer of transparent green over the top of the silver, and then I'll put a layer of transparent blue over the top of the green, because for whatever reason, aviation green lights have a blue-green look to them. So I found that by layering those two colors, I can actually achieve that look quite effectively. So even though the lights aren't functional, they at least look the part a little bit. And I have to say that I don't know if the real T-28s are like this or not, but these have to have the biggest rotating beacons I've ever seen on an aircraft. I mean, that thing is massive. It's huge. So I painted it red to make it stand out more, and it most certainly stands out a lot on this airframe. One of the last things I did to the aircraft was on the bottom. I painted the gear doors. The leading edges of the gear door, and they're basically not really leading edge, but the surround of the gear door on Navy aircraft is painted red. I don't know exactly the reasons why, but I've built enough model airplanes to know that they do a red outline over the doors and gear well. So I used a Sharpie red oil-based paint pen, and that worked really slick. And I just simply trace the outline of the gear door, and it just gives a little bit extra realism to the gear doors when they are down, rather than just looking kind of like plain white plastic. So. And then a little bit of weathering on the gear struts, just enough to kind of give it some definition, so you kind of see that there is more to the gear strut than just a white post. All that stuff is really easily done with some chalk, and it takes just a few minutes of work just to kind of blend in some color to it, just to kind of give it some definition. But that is all I had to do to kind of really take this T-28 from what was already a really good looking aircraft and just amp it up one notch. And I'm pretty happy with the results on it. I mean, it made the aircraft just pop just a little bit more, and also makes it unique too. It makes it a little bit different than everybody else's T-28. And being at RC Fest, I saw plenty of the new T-28s flying, and I knew that mine at home looked different than all the rest, because mine had a little extra decals, a little extra paint, and that beautiful high gloss finish on there that just makes this aircraft pop so much. So if you guys got any questions on the kind of the techniques and what I use to kind of help spruce up my T-28, just leave your comments below, and as soon as the weather ever cooperates, I'm going to try to get this thing back into the air again. I did do a maiden flight on it, but I was suffering with COVID pretty bad, and did not feel that I should probably be operating an aircraft. So I flew for about 2 whole minutes, brought the aircraft back down again, and said I will wait until I am all healed up before I go back out again. No reason to risk damaging such a beautiful aircraft with kind of a head that's not feeling 100%. Now I just gotta wait for the weather to turn around. So, like I said, if you guys got any questions at all on how to make your T-28 just a little bit snazzier, leave your comments below and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.